Welcome back, everyone. It is Friday, March 7th in the NBA, and my three best plays are on the way. If you are new, my name is Austin from Calling Our Shot. Today, we are joined by a special guest. Get it on out. The broom is here, a 3-0 sweep on Thursday. Exactly what we needed. Now on a 5-0 run, we need to do it again today. Let's recap the picks. Mo Gay. Shout out him, man. Under 6.5 points. What a legend. Zion, also a legend. He barely squeaked to 20 points. Soared under the assist. What do you have? 3 assists. We cashed that parlay, which was plus 136. And then Josh Hart took us home in the final game of the night. Lakers versus Knicks. An OT thriller. We'll take the 3-0 sweep, 5-0 run. Let's do it again today. Of course, we have 3 picks. We're going to dive with them in just one moment. But first, we need to do a little bit of housekeeping. We need to have a celebration. Welcome to the COS Hall of Fame, Mo Gay. What a legend. We are 3-0 on his unders over the past week or so. He's been a cash cow. Now, I won't lie to you. I don't think we deserved to cash Mo Gay yesterday. I said some sus things in yesterday's video about Mo Gay. We're not going to talk about that now, but I do want to note and shout out Mo Gay. We love him here. I don't know if I'll fade him again. If you don't know how lucky we are, I'll set the table for you because I got one clip on my screen. Mo Gay enters the fourth quarter with 4 points. He comes in, and man, we had to sweat some 3-pointers from him. We had 6.5. A lot of you guys had 5.5. This is the shot I'm talking about. 1 3-pointer does us in. 1 bucket does a lot of you guys in. I had 5.5. Zachary Reeser driving to the basket. Mo Gay sitting in the corner. He pulls up the 3. In and out. I mean, wow. We will certainly take a little bit of luck, though. We'll take that to go our way. Hopefully, we can have, not as sweaty of bets today. So let's dive into the 3 picks. A reminder, appreciate you guys for tuning in. Do me a favor, like and subscribe. Go down below. Drop your favorite pick. I want to see what you guys are playing today. My last note, at the end of this video, we're going to go through our 3 picks. I have an Underdog fantasy slip in there. I think $25 turns it over 100. I'm going to talk about a bunch of other player props I looked at. They won't be any of my official plays here. But, of course, Underdog fantasy, if you've never signed up for them, well, there's no better time to do it than now. They have Luka Doncic free square available for all new users. Technically, Luka doesn't play today. He plays tomorrow. So you have plenty of time in case you sign up later on tonight when other games have started. Again, Luka, free pick. Use code COS. Reminder, code COS or the link at the top of the description. They'll match your first deposit up to $1,000. Take advantage of that. We'll talk about Underdog more at the end of the video, as well as some other player props that I did look at and maybe dive into some other games. But let's dive in the picks today. I have 1 over and 2 unders. We'll begin with the over of the day. That'll be Demar Derozan over 31.5 points plus assists, which is currently minus 118 on FanDuel. I believe they bumped it up to 32.5. I'm cool with it there. I think DeRozan either goes nuclear or he probably ends in like the high 20s, maybe 26, 27, 28. But I love this matchup for him as him and the Kings play host to the San Antonio Spurs. Now, a lot of people are going to talk about De'Aaron Fox making his return to Sacramento, and we'll touch on that at the end of the video. He's in my Underdog slip for a prop, but I do like taking something with DeMar DeRozan here. I think this is a great spot. Now, we have to talk about the injuries. Domantas Sabonis, out. Malik Monk out as well. So we've seen DeMar DeRozan kind of turn into more of a facilitator for this team, but also a high usage guy. Don't believe me? Look at his last game. This was the last game with those 2 guys out. 32 field goal attempts. Now, did he have a big game? Yeah, he had 40 points plus assists. Now you might be like, Austin, I mean, look at this shot chart, 32 shots. Do I think he shoots 32 times? No. And you might be like, Austin, he got hot, so they played through him. Actually, quite the contrary. He missed actually 2 of his first 12 shots, so he was not playing too well. Now, in that game, we saw him have, and that's this one, he had played 42 minutes, 35 points, 5 assists on 7 potential assists. Pretty solid. Now, the hit rate's not great. You might be like, Austin, he's only over a 9 of 30. I get that. But the usage rate in that game was out of the world. I mean, look at his usage. Skyrocketed. 37%. Not a huge shock when you're replacing a guy like Malik Monk and guys like Sabonis with Jonas Valanciunas and Keon Ellis. So I expect the usage to be pretty good. And I mean, he hasn't had a lot of games with 30% usage higher this season. And I think he's only over in both the 2 games that he got that usage in Toronto and the last game against the Nuggets. We think about this matchup here for him against the Spurs. The Spurs, their defense is a little bit different given Wembanyama's out, but they're still going to give up mid-range shots. And that's what I just showed you his shot chart. He was shooting all mid-ranges. I mean, sure, he made some 3-pointers, but again, mid-range and in the paint, and we see this is a good matchup for that. This is a Spurs team that has, over the last 5 games, given up the most points per game in the paint, so he should be able to do damage there. And if I'm an NBA team, am I going to double a guy that's shooting a bunch of contested 2s? No, I'm probably not, because I'm not want to give up open 3-pointers. So I think they let him get as much volume as he wants. They are pretty good at limiting free throws, which is why I don't see them double teaming him. And even in this last game, when he had the 40, he only had 4 free throw attempts. We know DeRozan is capable of 10, 15 plus field goal attempt type games. So free throw attempt type games. I really think this is a great usage spot for him. You've seen this season when he gets 20 or more field goal attempts, which let me get to that, 20 or more field goal attempts, he's over in 11 to 14 games. Couple close misses in here. But again, he hasn't been as big of a facilitator in these games, whereas he's going to have the ball in his hands a good amount. If they want to double team him, he'll have plenty of assist opportunities. He's played well against this head-to-head matchup. 36 earlier this season, at 8 assists in there, 13 potentials. That was a game with Sabonis. Fox played in that game. Everyone was active besides Kevin Huerter. So again, this should be a great spot for him to get to his spots, knock down his shots. They just don't have a lot of offense out there. So head-to-head wise, he's played pretty well against them. A reminder, this is a Props Madness. So a reminder, you can use code COS for 25% off your first purchase. But again, I really think this is a great spot. So my favorite over the day is Demar Derozan over 31.5 points plus assists. This should be a high-scoring game, back and forth. He should get the volume. So he's knocking out some shots. I like Zach LaVine in this matchup, but his volume just is not high enough for me to really back the 24.5 points line, which is what he has. I do like his assist line, though. Zach LaVine, I think, is 4.5, but juiced on the over. My next play of the day, we're going to go to some unders. This is an under. He helped us cash on, Thursday? Today we're back in his under. Now, on Thursday, we set him in a parlay for 20-plus points. Be James Harden. I love his under 25.5 points tonight at minus 120 on Bet365, a one-unit play. Harden has had a okay season. Now, people are coming out of the woodworks after his 50-point game saying, this guy's turning back the clock and things like that. They must have been watching a different James Harden than I have. He's been good this year. 22 points, 8 assists per game, 8.5 assists per game. Sure, he's been good. But his efficiency has been quite, let's be honest, been pretty dang bad. If you look at his efficiency on the year, shooting 39% at home, 39% on the road, 35% from 3. Now, yes, he can get to the free throw line a good amount. We'll touch on that right now, but it's not like he's been out of this world good. And tonight you'll see the return of Kawhi Leonard. Jarek Jones Jr. will be back as well. And so Kawhi being back, obviously, man, if I say obviously one more time, I'm going to crash out. We keep saying it. All right. Not cashing the over for you guys to bet the obviously over, although that's 2. So you're welcome. Harden, though, with Kawhi Leonard in there, I just don't see the volume being great. He'll get the shots, but he's more of a facilitator. And in this matchup against the Knicks, I think they have the perimeter guys to slow him down. Now, the Knicks are going to be down Jalen Brunson tonight. As a Knicks fan, tough to see him go down last night. Coming into his lineup, though, will be maybe McBride. Maybe we start Precious Achiuwa. I have no idea. But it's not like the defender that they start is going to be any worse than Jalen Brunson. So I don't see this Knicks defense taking a big hit. And we look at James Harden, again, back to Props Madness. Reminder, code COS, get you 25% off your purchase. Best research tool out there. We say Harden, how does he score his points? A lot in isolation. 32% of his points. The Knicks rank first there. Very good isolation defense. Free throws. The Knicks top 5 defense in terms of free throws. Now, you can say, Austin, they're terrible in the pick and roll. And yes, I agree with you. That's Harden's 3rd most common scoring tendency. He gets a lot of pick and roll opportunities, but I think he can easily dish it off to Vika Zubac, who should get some opportunities there in transition. I'm not too worried about there in the spot up, whatever. So again, 55% of his points coming on isolation on free throws. 2 good spots for the Knicks. Now, if I had to pick who's going to guard him, it's going to be Mikal Bridges. And remember, Bridges, we know, is a great defender. He is a guy that doesn't tend to give up a lot of free throws, and a guy that has the length to kind of have those contests on jump shots, which we know Harden does a lot of step backs. He has the long arms to contest those shots without getting up and under them and giving them 3 free throws. Now, if you saw Harden in his most recent game, sure, he had 50 points, but again, that was without Kawhi Leonard. He had 20 free throws. I mean, if he gets 20 free throws, makes 6 threes, shoots 60%, yeah, he's going to go over. I'm not an idiot, but I just don't see that I see that being more of an anomaly than anything. You see over the last 24 games, under in 70% of them. If you look at games in which Kawhi Leonard is active, Norm Powell is out, you're looking at a guy that is under this line in 4 or 5. Technically one of these games on the hook, but this game got 9 free throw attempts. Toronto, a little bit better matchup there. This game, again, similar to what you could see today, 8 for 21, 30 points against the Hawks, made 7 threes. But I could see more of one of these games. 18 against the Lakers, didn't shoot well. Or this game against the Suns, 5 for 14, didn't really need his scoring a ton. They are actually 8.5-point favorites against the Knicks, which is a pretty high number. I see other guys having a scoring pretty well against the Knicks. I just don't think his matchup is warranted of a 25.5 line. And I'll live with it. If he goes over with 25.5, I just don't see him needing to do that. I think he could have a good day assisting the ball. Either way, he's going to have to knock down shots. And if you're betting on Harden, he shot less than 40% this season, coming off a big game. Maybe you see a little bit of regression towards the mean, or he just doesn't shoot the ball well. Wouldn't shock me if he went out there and shot 5 of 17 tonight. That's kind of what he's been doing this season. So I love his under in points, 25.5, a lofty line for a team like the Knicks that hopefully they don't foul. Hopefully, don't give him some easy free throws. Let Kawhi Leonard do whatever he wants. I love this under. This game could be a blowout as well. Would not shock me at all. My last play of the day. I have 3 plays. Then we're going to dive into that underdog slip where I have a bunch of other ones that I really looked at. But again, we've had success taking these 2 and 3 pick cards. No reason to force a ton onto a slate that I honestly don't really love. My last pick will be a guy that helped us cash the sweep last night. That's Josh Hart. I like his under 14.5 points, minus 118 on FanDuel, a 1-unit play. Now, I've already talked about Jalen Brunson being out for this game. If Jalen Brunson suits up tonight, he should get a statue outside of the Knicks, outside of Madison Square Garden, because I just don't see him coming out tonight. And they've kind of said, the tea leaves are saying, hey, we think he's out a little bit of time. And I think he'll obviously be back, hopefully soon. But I don't think that improves Josh Hart's usage. Now, he might become more of a facilitator, but he's not going to get his open shots. And I talked with the matchup last night against the Lakers. They basically have been like, hey, one guy we don't respect, we're going to leave him open. That was Josh Hart, which is why we backed his over in PRAs. But the Clippers don't really do that. And like I said, they have some guys returning like Derrick Jones Jr. So in the starting lineup, you're going to get probably Harden, Chris Dunn. You're going to get DJJ, Kawhi Leonard, and Zubac. So those are, I mean, Harden might not be a great defender, but he's all right. Those are 5 pretty solid defenders. And I don't know if this is a great spot for Hart. Now, I granted 3 of my plays, 2 of them are in the same game. I don't like this matchup for Josh Hart. I just think it's a really tough one. Again, going back to PropsMadness, you can see Hart is over this line in 13 of 24. On the road, been a much worse, under in 10 of 24. Now, he does have some big games in there, but like I said, he's not really 100% healthy. Went 1 for 8 against the Warriors, 14 points in overtime against the Heat, 12 here against the Grizzlies, 7 here. Like, he's had not a lot of great games. I mean, he has good games when he faces good matchups like the Nuggets, games like the Pacers. He plays well there. And granted, Anunoby didn't play there, but I really think this is a game where, sure, you might not see Jalen Brunson. And in the only game Brunson didn't play, he played 45 minutes and barely went over 15 points. But again, Brunson didn't play, and neither did McBride. Now, I don't expect Robinson to play tonight, but I expect McBride to be out there a good amount. He could, heck, even start for the Knicks tonight. And I know Tom Thibodeau is a guy that likes to run his guys into the ground. As a Knicks fan, sometimes you're like, please, Tibbs, give your guys a rest. But he's actually been playing the guys off the bench a little bit more than normal. You're talking about guys like McBride when he's healthy. Cam Payne will get some good minutes tonight. Landry Shamit's been really good for them. And Precious Achiuwa, another guy that didn't play yesterday. Maybe he plays today. Mitchell Robinson, I don't know if they want to play him on a back-to-back, but he could be in there. And so I see an uptick in the guys like Anunoby or Kat's usage more so than a guy like Josh Hart. And I just don't love this matchup for him. As you see where he scores his points, not a great matchup in transition. The Clippers play pretty slow. This game is an over-under in the 219s. Spot-up wise, middle of the pack. Free throws, middle, kind of near the top 10. Putbacks, they're pretty good limiting those opportunities in the paint in the restricted area. See, they're a top 10 defense. I don't like it. I just don't. Last year, if you want to say head-to-head wise, he didn't play well against them, but let's keep in mind, 10 points, has played 32 minutes. This game only played 8 minutes, so really don't factor that game in there. But the Knicks also didn't have a lot of scoring out there last year as they do now, even though Brunson's out. Cat, Anunoby, Bridges maybe gets going. I just don't think Hart's in for a great spot. So I like fading him here. I know he helped us cash the sweep, and I am forever grateful for him to do that yesterday. But I don't like this matchup for him. So I like his under in points. So officially my 3 picks, I won't add any today, will be DeMar DeRozan's over in points plus assists, like it at 32.5. Harden's under in 25.5 points. I like that at 24.5. And Josh Hart under in points. I don't know if I love it at 13.5. 14.5 still available on every single book. So try to get a 14.5 when this video drops. If you're watching it later, 13.5 I don't hate. PRAs, probably wouldn't touch that because he could play a lot of minutes today. It wouldn't shock me, but I don't know if Tibbs runs his man into the ground. That Tibbs already hears the criticism. That I don't love it. Now the Knicks could rule out some guys, and that might maybe change the James Harden stuff. But a guy that I expect to be out there is Mikal Bridges. He has not missed a game in like almost 570 games or something like that. So he should be out there. So I like the Harden play. Finally, let's talk about an underdog slip. These are a bunch of other plays I looked hard at. Now, a couple of them are alt lines, which is something I love about Underdog Fantasy. A reminder, code COS or the link down below, top of the description. Match your first deposit up to $1,000 and get you that Luka free square. Depending on when you sign up, you'll get a different free square, but you'll always get a free pick. So you always get a free little leg of your entries, so you don't have to sweat it. These are 4 picks I like. $25 turns into 116. Pretty solid. Miles Bridges, if I had to pick another play today, it was going to be his under. Now, his under is not for 24.5. You see Underdog, they allow you to take the alt lines, which we really like. It really is 21.5. I could see him somehow squeaking his way to like 22, 23 points based on the volume alone. But I really don't like this matchup for him. He's going to get Evan Mobley on him. Mobley, as we talked about, DPOY. He's going to be the defensive player of the year. I really think it's a tough matchup for Bridges. He struggled in this matchup before. Granted, Brandon Miller did play in those games. That's why I don't love this one for Miles Bridges, but I do like this lower 24.5 points. Chris Dunn, another one I really like. This is his regular line at 15.5. He's played some big minutes recently, but he's also played some teams that don't play that are going to leave him open. If we're talking about Chris Dunn, I think his line might be at 16.5 on FanDuel. So if you want to take it there, you certainly can. He's played, and you know, I could pull it back up PropsMadness. This is another one I really do like. These games, sure, he had big games. So with Kawhi, without Powell. I don't know if DJJ was in these games. DJJ's been in a couple of them. The Lakers game, they left him wide open, but I could see a game like this against the Suns where he just doesn't get any usage. The Knicks, not a good matchup for spot up guys. I just don't see the usage is there for him. So I really do like his under, lower 15.5 PRAs. I think it's a great play. Nick Richards, his regular first quarter line is 2.5. I like taking it for 1.5. I mean, he's facing Jokic. He's going to get 6-7 minutes in there. All he needs is one dump off pass. They double Devin Booker on a screen, dump it off to Nick Richards, just go dunk it. I love that one. And then De'Aaron Fox, obviously, God, he returns to Sacramento. People can take his overs today, but the thing about De'Aaron Fox is his hand looks messed up. He has, I think, like a bandage or something on his left hand. It doesn't look good. And there's a reason he's been shooting 18% or something like that from 3 over the last 5 or 6 games. I still think he can get to his over in points, which is like 22.5. But man, I like taking the lower 2.5 threes for a guy that just his hand doesn't look great. So he could obviously torch the Kings, wouldn't shock me, but he probably gets Keon Ellis, their best perimeter defender, on him pretty much the whole game. So I do like the lower for threes there. He could score the points. So I'm not saying take his under in points, but the lower 2.5 threes. So all those picks are ones that I really looked at hard. I just ended up not loving any of them enough, and I really want to stick to 3 plays. If I had to add any 2, I look at Fox, but his line's a little bit too juiced for me. I really like that Chris Dunn and Miles Bridges unders lower. So I really think those are good. Reminder, code COS, get on Underdog Fantasy, get match up to $1,000 and get you that Luka Doncic free pick. So those are my favorite picks. Again, appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you want to sign up for PropsMadness, again, use code COS. All the other signups and deposit matches and things like that are all down below in the description. Goal today. Bring up this bad boy once again. Yes, I've been sitting on it with my lap. It's been sitting on my lap for the last 18 minutes, but we need to bring it out once again today. Let's have another winning day. Let's start to string together more and more winning days, get back the units we lost over the last 2 weeks. So love to see a little 5-0 run, but we have much more work to do. Again, have a wonderful Friday. Let me know your favorite picks down below. And tomorrow I'll be back bright and early in the morning with some more picks. I'll see you guys then. In terms of any other games I looked at, really not a lot out there. Blazers, Thunder, Timberwolves, Heat, not really. Memphis Grizzlies, Mavericks, no chance. Jazz, Raptors. No, we're in a weird stage in the NBA. Those are my picks. Have a great day. See you on the next one. Peace.